Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Spent a lot of time rebuilding that antique bearing. It turns out that there was more damage to the bearing than I wanted to repair. Rust is a terrible thing. I'm going to fabricate 2 new mounts for sealed ball bearings. That'll get the grinder up and running. But to do that, I first have to lay it out. After I get it laid out, then I'm going to transfer that layout to the steel plate and then get ready to drill the holes and cut out the pieces of steel. For today, we're going to do the layout. There are 2 holes in the frame rails already. Easy way to measure center to center on a hole, go from one edge to the other. These are 2 1/8 inch center to center. The holes themselves are 3/8 of an inch in diameter. We'll slide this back together again just to keep all the pieces handy. Even though I was able to make this bearing work as a bearing, it's totally shot. So I'm going to go with this kind of bearing to support the grinding wheel. To do that, I need to make a support for it because I have to have some way to bolt that to the frame. So I'm going to do a quick sketch of what I think I need. I'm going to use this as a model. Now the frame rail is 1.25 inches thick. There are 2 holes in the frame. That are 2 1/8 inch center to center. Now to give myself room to put a bolt in there, I'm going to give myself the thickness of this edge here, which is 1/8 of an inch on either side of the hole. So 2 1/8 plus the diameter of the hole is 2 7/16. Then I add an 1/8 inch on either side for the thickness of the material along the edge. That's 2 9/16. So if I make this plate 2 9/16 inches long, that should get me where I want to be. It's always best to catch your mistakes on the paper, but if you catch them in the layout phase, it's still just scratches on some steel. Okay, so I've got them laid out. And the circle here is just for visual reference. I'm actually going to be working off the center line of the hole. Making sketches like this, a lot easier to change your mind on a piece of paper. If you don't like it, take it off, throw it away. By the time you've cut the steel, you've put quite a bit of investment in it. You've not only got the cost of the steel, you got the cost of the labor making it again. And that can get quite expensive when you're working with only one lifetime. So now I have this laid out. I can go after this with a cutoff wheel and start cutting my pieces out. But I'm going to have to change the cutoff wheel because this one is getting pretty short. And I'll have to change my clothes and put on some old ones and go out in the garage where I can really beat on things and make a lot of noise. But I should be able to make 2 motor mounts. I'll rough these out, I'll grind them to shape on the belt sander, then I'll come down, clamp them up in the lathe and bore those holes. These I'll just do on the drill press. I'll start the holes with the center drill and then take them out to 5/16. Before I do that, I'm going to touch up this drill bit. Sharp all the way across to the point. I think we're good to go. Not too shabby. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.